everyone! Welcome to today's craft demo video. Today we'll be learning all about a book titled Mouse Paint and our colors. In this video, I'll be going through the steps a little fast, so teachers or parents feel free after watching the full video to go back and pause at any time. Today's big idea is all about change, specifically the way the colors change. Before we get into our project, I want you to go ahead and listen to the book. Parents or teachers, a simple Google search will bring up some great audiobooks, and they're only about 3 minutes long. Go ahead and do this now before we move on. I promise I'll be here when you guys get back. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the story. Mouse Paint was both written and illustrated by Ellen Stoll Walsh, meaning she drew the pictures too. Today's craft is inspired by the way she draws her mice. Before we start, there's a few important things we need to go over first, and those are our vocabulary words for today's lesson. To start, we have our primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. These colors are so important because they help us create all the colors in the rainbow. By mixing our primary colors, we get our secondary colors, orange, green, and purple. All of these colors fit together in what's called a color wheel. If you look closely, you can see that both our primary colors and our secondary colors fit inside, making a rainbow. Today we're going to create our own color wheel made of little painted mice. With those words in mind, let's jump right into our project. We're going to need a few important materials. We're going to need 3 pieces of white paper, pink construction paper, red, yellow, and blue washable paint, a black marker, a paintbrush, a glue stick, some paper towels, kids' scissors, and your printable mouse template. After we've gathered all our supplies, we're ready to begin. You should have a placemat under you and a plate with 6 blobs of paint, 2 in each primary color. This is something the teacher or your parents can help you with. Grab your scissors, and we're going to start off by cutting out our mouse template very carefully along the lines. This step is important, so if you mess up, make sure to ask the teacher or your parent for a new template. Now that we've got our template cut out, we're going to start cutting out all our mice. Grab 2 pieces of white paper and fold them just like I do, in half and then in half again. Do this for both pieces of paper and then stack them on top of each other. We're going to take our cutted out mouse template and glue him right to the top of the folded piece of paper. We're going to take our scissors again and very carefully cut around the edges of our template, making sure to cut through all the layers of paper. When we're done, we should have plenty of mice to paint. Start by painting one mouse completely red and make sure to cover him completely in paint, just like the mice were in the book. Repeat these steps with both the blue and the yellow mouse. Don't forget to rinse off your brush all the way in between each color, and when we're done, we're going to set our freshly painted mice aside to dry. Next is the fun part. We're going to start by taking some red on our brush, just like the mice had on their feet, and we're going to dip it into one of the yellow blobs. Just like the mice did, you're going to take your paintbrush and dance it all around, making sure to mix the color fully. Once again, make sure you still have 1 blob of yellow left. You should only be mixing in 1 out of the 2 blobs. We're going to need the yellow color for our next mouse. While we've got our brand new orange color on our brush, we're going to grab our next mouse and paint him. Make sure he's fully covered. When you're done, set your orange mouse aside to dry and rinse off your brush completely so we can start our next color. You're going to repeat the same steps with our next 2 mice. This time, we're going to take a tiny bit of blue and dance it around to our yellow to make green. Paint your mouse, rinse your brush, and set him aside to dry. Lastly, we're going to make our purple mouse. Grab a little bit of your blue and you're going to dance it into your red. Repeat the same steps of painting, rinsing your brush, and setting your mouse aside to dry. While our mice are drying, it's a perfect time to cut out some cute pink ears, just like Ellen draws them in the book. Grab your scissors and your pink piece of construction paper and begin cutting out a bunch of little ear shapes. Feel free to make some big, some small, some round, and some not. Here we are going to cut out a bunch and we can pick our favorites for later. When our mice are finally dry, it's time to arrange them. Arrange them in a circle with the smaller end of the shape pointing in, just like you see me doing. We are making a color wheel, so it's important what order your mice go in. Make sure they are arranged just like you see mine. Now that we've got our mice in the right spots, we need to glue them down. With all our mice glued to the paper, it's clear that they don't look much like mice yet. This is the time when we are going to pick out our favorite ear shapes and glue them onto the heads of the mice. Just like you see here. Remember, only 2 ears to a mouse. With our mice and ears glued down, we can begin our final step. With a black marker, go ahead and give your mice some eyes, a tail, and maybe even some whiskers or a nose. Have fun drawing on your little mice. When you're all finished, make sure all the extra paint gets thrown away and we wash our hands and wipe down our area if there's any paint left behind on the table. I'm sure your mice look amazing! It's now time for our reflection and closing questions. Before we go, I want you to think about the answers to these questions. Why is color important? Why do artists mix colors? What are some ways colors change in nature? Remember that there are no wrong answers to any of these questions. Change plays a big role in our colors. When we mix colors together, we get new colors. Even though sometimes change may seem scary, sometimes it can result in beautiful things, such as orange, purple, or green, or maybe like when the leaves turn from green to red and orange in the fall. Thank you so much for making some adorable little mice along with me. I hope you learned a little bit about color and you had a lot of fun too.